Whoa. So we ain't got no music today. Whatever. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Rock Roots Podcast, where we dig deep to reach high. We are progressive, we are aggressive, and we don't back down. That is my new tagline I'm going to run with for this show. We are progressive, we are aggressive, and we don't back down. Hopefully, y'all like that out there, but we shall see. I am your co-host, Payron Baxter.
I'm your co-host, Ram Sandoval. How y'all doing on this Friday night?
Friday, not the usual time we're going on, folks, but thanks for tuning in. And today's episode, we're gonna get into that, but before we do, I also want to start another part of the show. What radicalized you, Ram? For me, I'll go first since I'm introducing it. For me, it is the subscription service life. Everything has to have a monthly buy. It wasn't like that when we were kids. It wasn't like that for our parents. Like you bought a movie, you owned the movie, whether it was on VHS, whether it was on DVD. And then we got this whole streaming thing. And, it's faster, Redbox. We don't have to worry about that. And now it's like we don't really own anything, right? We kind of license everything out, and we're licensing our time and our efforts and our money to everything. And it's just pissing me off because, if you don't want to pay the high price, then you pay the kind of lower price. And the lower price has, it's that what you wanted, but with more obstacles, more commercials, and more ads. And if not that, then, if you want to back out of it, there's 100 different loops for you to jump through, and you have to talk to HR, then talk to someone over there in customer service, and talk to the CEO, and then you have to put a 10-point plan of why you don't want it. So I have been radicalized by the capitalistic need to keep our dollars, eyes, and attention on their needs, which is subscription life. What has radicalized you, Ron?
I don't know what radicalized me, but I do have a couple comments on that. What do you do with that? Like, now that you realize that we don't own anything, everything is digital. I think if things are at risk, such as the books that we have on, Kindle, or documentaries, historical things, and so those things could potentially just, you don't have to burn books anymore. You just delete them.
Yeah. So what do I do is, I try to have as many physical things as I can now. DVD collection is very, very slim. I used to have a big DVD collection, but now most things don't play DVDs, and DVDs are probably like super outdated. There's probably no like modern movies there in DVD. But yeah, as it comes to books and music is another thing. I don't have CDs anymore. We're gonna have to start moving to this, model where we either burn music or I don't know, go buy an album. I haven't bought an album in a long time, but I think we need to kind of get back to that. I think that's where we had communal interactions with one another. I remember going to like a Sam Goody or an FYE as a kid, or to a music store or Blockbuster, and you see someone from school, you see someone from work, you see someone dropping off their Redbox, and you kind of had, how was that movie? I liked it, blah blah blah. How is this the new album? That's not that great. Songs 1 through 5 are awesome. Everything else is trash. These were moments of community that I think that we have allowed ourselves to become kind of insular in the way we interact with the world. So again, it's kind of have to be intentional. You have to understand that we don't own this stuff. A lot of people think that they do. But yeah, that's my response to that, man. But yeah, I mean, something's gotta be pissing you off. What's pissing you off out there that's not political, Ron? What's going on? Something, man. We're all people before we're talking heads.
You're putting me on the spot. I would say Taco Bell.
Okay, what's going on?
They removed the Mexi Melt, man.
Okay, the Mexi Melt. The melted Mexi. Now, I've never had a Mexi Melt.
It was the most underrated. It was the most underrated. So Mexi Melt is, I used to get this as a kid with my grandmother, but it's ground beef, cheese, and pico de gallo, and it's melted. It's really good.
Is it like, is it in a taco shape? Is it, what's the?
Like a roll up. Like
okay.
It's almost like a quesadilla, but like rolled up with, beef, cheese, and pico de gallo in it. They got rid of it, and then they brought it back for the retro stuff like last year, and then that retro stuff went away. So it was like with the Mexican pizza, and
I remember Mexican pizza. Yeah.
So yeah, and what I did about it, so I didn't have to order like hack the order, be like, give me a cheesy roll up and beef and pico de gallo.
you had like kind of
ironically, it was cheaper for a while.
Oh,
So
okay,
it was also a
okay.
hack. So yeah,
So you had to
yeah,
then go the way this capitalist system does. You have to then basically create what you want, buying more products, buying the cheese roll-ups, buying. Let me get a side of pico. Let me get some guacamole. Then you have to basically recreate your childhood nostalgia through more items, and then they get the credit for, oh look, we're moving more units here at Taco Bell. That's how they get you, brother. That's how they get you.
it is indeed. So,
Oh,
but
and
there's a lot of things now, and politically, so it's easy to talk about. But tonight we're going to go through a few things, just a few stories tonight.
yeah,
The government obviously reopened.
it has
Uh, the Epstein and his Trump files are
blowing
shit's in the
everything up
fan,
right now.
which and we saw that coming. And then ICE and CBP are coming to Charlotte from
Yeah,
Chicago.
right.
So I feel like I don't know. I have connections to both places, and it's tiring
I think
and
they're following you. I
tiring
think
and
I think they like
depressing.
both sides of you. They're like the black and the Mexican side.
Well, apparently Bovino is from um,
Where's he from?
he's from Charlotte or from
Is
North
he?
Carolina. He's from North Carolina, as I understand it. Yeah,
No, that
yeah.
Nazi is from North Carolina. I
Let me
mean,
confirm that.
you don't want to get sued by a Nazi. I'm actually from the border of North and South Carolina. Sued, you snowflake cuck.
Yeah, so he's from Western North Carolina. He went to Watauga High School and attended Western Carolina University and
Nice.
Appalachian State University.
Well, it's
So
definitely those are very woke areas.
so North Carolina raised him, and he is going to terrorize the
North
city.
Carolina. I mean, you got to shit where you eat. That's what people say, right? Is make sure you shit where you eat. But that's what we're getting here. Okay, cool. And then what else we're gonna go over?
That's it, man. That's a keep it
That's
short tonight.
right.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Friday, but yeah, that's what we got. So
All right, all
without
right.
further ado, oh, and
Further ado,
also
do.
if you're watching, please like,
Please, please.
subscribe, follow, share with your friends. Try to get the word out. We like engaging with people, and we enjoy what we do. Try to inform the community and get active in the community. Real quick, also doing a doing a canvas tomorrow. Managing a canvas tomorrow for Indivisible for some of the House and Senate reps, or House and Senate candidates in North Carolina. Just informing. If you're interested, reach out.
Cool.
Meanwhile, yeah, there's also protests going on tomorrow. Protesting the
At two
ICE and
o'clock, right?
CBP arrival. There's a couple. There's one at 10 a.m. I'm going to put some of this information up at the end. There's one at 10 a.m., I believe. There's one at 2 in Freedom Park, I believe. There's a lot of organizing going on in the background in terms of, spreading the apps, what people can do. There's some chats going. So a lot of that type of stuff is happening as well. So, what do we got tonight? I mean, the government reopened. I mean, obviously,
Government's reopened.
Let's chat about that real quick. I mean,
Yeah.
as we talked about on Sunday, we were live when we got word that this I forget what they call it, the initial vote to then vote on the actual continuing resolution happened.
Yeah. And it created a tizzy, I dare I say, amongst the folks that pay attention to this, folks that were kind of riding for, the Democrats standing strong. Folks, I understand people as well saying, hey, I just need the government to open. I need to pay this rent. I need to be able to eat. I mean, I understand that too. They also heard people also calling into radio stations and to news outlets and being interviewed saying, like, you know what, though, I am toughing this out, and I do want people to stand for me. So there's been kind of this myriad of responses. Ultimately, it does, I think, still look bad on the Democrats. I think even when people are saying things like, well, this was never going to pass, you were never going to get those things. It's also what we have to stop doing is accepting the right's perspective of when they do things. Then we normalize it. All of us who are not Republicans, not MAGA, not on the right, because anything that's not to do with the budget has to have 60 votes. So if I'm coming into a back and forth with someone in bad faith, and I know I need 60 votes, or the government gets shut down, but I put a bunch of bullshit in there that I know my partner or my quote unquote partner on the other side will not vote for, like you're setting up a bad precedent to begin with, right? Like you're starting from the standpoint where like I know these motherfuckers ain't gonna like it. And then you say, well, that's where we're going to jump off from. And then we have the shutdown. But then on top of that, you get the Democrats actively, choosing post-election to, work behind Chuck Schumer, work with Chuck Schumer being the puppet master. It doesn't look good all the way around. I've heard people say, well, Chuck was all out of the loop. Well, then he is a terrible leader because he can't keep his caucus together. But then also Chuck Schumer might be a puppet master, which means Chuck Schumer also must go because he is actively giving up concessions on an already bad premise bill to begin with. So all the way around, I think some people are somewhat relieved, but then some are also realizing that we're going to be in a situation again because come January 30th is where we're going to get to the end of the current subsidy extensions. So it's going to be a lot of pain going around for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, we had real-time reactions last week, so don't need to really dwell on it. I mean, nothing really changed. I mean, they basically said that they were caving in because they would get a vote. I mean, a promise of a vote. What does a vote do? To get them on the record to show that they wouldn't, and then immediately after, the Mike Johnson said the House isn't going to vote on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Senate. So they played themselves, and then come to find out they snuck in some additional.
They did, yes.
And so here you are, you're the senators. You're not reading this stuff, and you're the 8 Democrats, and you basically allowed them to sneak in $500,000 for each line that showed up in reports or investigations as it related to January 6th and the senators involved. So if they had 5 lines, then they just got themselves $2.5 million. They also had a hemp ban that could impact the hemp industry. So there's these. I mean, this is what happens when you work with people who like disregard and have no respect. Absolutely no. That's the most disrespectful thing you could do, right? And so they have no respect, and here they are trying to reach on the other side of the aisle, and oh well, they'll talk to us. And like we said last week, I mean, all they were negotiating was like the reverse, like things that Trump had already, beat them over the head with. It's like, okay, we're ready to just stop beating us, stop beating Americans to death, and we give you what you want, right? As opposed to, so they didn't really get anything out of it. They didn't get anything out of it, nor did the American people.
Absolutely. And there's people I was interacting with. I think I've sent you a few of them, but there was a guy that we both know, and he was posting stuff like, Democrats are getting SNAP benefits paid. Democrats are going to get, workers on furlough, they're going to get back pay. And I'm like, none of that was a part that they weren't holding out to pay for SNAP. SNAP was born out, the SNAP not getting paid out was born out of people. It was born out of the shutdown, which was meant to put pressure to extend the ACA subsidies, which were already meager. And again, just going back to any Democrats, if y'all want to win moving forward, y'all got to start fighting for Medicare for all. Healthcare for all. I mean, we call it what you want, universal healthcare. I don't really give a damn. But if you are an American citizen, or, honestly, I don't care who you are. We need healthy people here. If you're documented, undocumented, if you fall off a roof and you can go into a hospital, and guess what that helps? That helps out the construction industry. That helps out the insurance. There wouldn't be any insurance industry. We need a single payer. We don't have multiple payers for teachers, or we actually don't pay teachers as well, but we don't have multiple payers for police officers. They don't have to go buy their own bullets. They don't have to go buy their own vest. There's a single payer. It's the U.S. government. This should be a single payer as well. If you are sick, if you need to go seek emergency services or preemptive services, the government should want to take care of its citizens. And we have to start changing the conversation, Democrats, to being around Should the government care for its citizens? Should the government want the wealth, not the wealth, the health of its own citizens to be taken care of? And is it the responsibility of a corporation to do that? They can go up and down, they can cut costs and regulations and cut corners. Whose responsibility is it to make sure that we have a well-informed, healthy proletariat? I would assume the government that has an economy based in our productivity. So anyway, but yes, but I do want to just again, like the idea that SNAP was a win. Oh, SNAP's paid out till next September.
Well,
Again, that was never the negotiation from the reason that why there was a shutdown. So people accepting these small things like, well, this is happening. They're getting furloughed workers back. Okay, that was never a part of the deal. That was just a subsequent thing. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, they just kind of beat these Democrats into submission.
But this is what regular people are saying. I'm not talking about regular people.
It was almost like but it was almost what I'm saying is that it was almost as if they were asking for, like you said, they were asking for these things from the beginning or even before. No, it just kind of happened, and that was one of the casualties of the shutdown.
Right.
And so with that, they also got played there because now the USDA is basically, I think they said today, they're going to, I don't know when they're going to actually do this or how, but they're going to basically pull everyone off of SNAP and require everyone to reapply, jump through all the hoops to obtain their benefits. So, they just got more leash and time to continue executing, their Project 2025, their Project Gilead. And I mean, that was an opportunity to kind of,
to do something. Well, in a good way though. What do we get? We were able to get it reopened. We got Alita Grijalva to get sworn in, and when she got sworn in, there was. I mean, people were talking to her prior to. I think I saw her on a few podcasts. I saw her on different news stations, and people were asking, "Hey, are you going to have any words for Mike Johnson?" And she says, I did. And I don't know if you have the clip, but this clip of her when she was talking to Mike Johnson specifically. When she got sworn in, they were like, "Oh, how do you feel about getting sworn in after 7.5 weeks?" 7.5 weeks, insane. When Mike Johnson have sworn people in the very next day in the past, and she just kind of gestured to him like, "Ask this asshole, and no, she didn't say that clearly. She's a very nice lady, but I'm her anger translator. Remember, Key and Peele had the Obama anger translator. I was her anger translator. That Mike Johnson is a fucking asshole for doing this. All again, as we said last episode, to help, you hear this here to help stop the Epstein files. But let's see what she said here.
Let's see if I can. Oh, hold on one second. Also, somebody asked, or Susan asked, she's on Instagram, so it doesn't show up in here, but how many senators got $500,000? So none of them got $500,000 yet, but they can sue for $500,000.
Yeah.
And there's 8 of them as senators, and there's one representative who was not included. So it was just for senators.
Reparations. This is reparations, man.
Yeah. Reparations for
the slaveholders, as always. This country will always give reparations. Okay, here we go.
Handshake.
Yeah. Handshake.
All right, be fake. Look. She's like, wow,
why did it take so long to get sworn?
Thank you guys. That would be another. That would not be my question.
Look, I really like this lady. She's going to be an excellent member of Congress. She's a great person. I just told her on the way in that she fills her father's shoes, or she's going to try. No one can.
No one can.
He was a giant around here, served a long time, served his state very well. I served under him in the Natural Resources Committee for a while and admired the way he did the work. He was tenacious. So she has a proud family legacy, and we're delighted.
I hate the way this dude talks, by the way.
I hate. You know what? This was really emblematic for me. This is something the Democrats, the left-leaning people, progressives, we have to separate interpersonal relationships versus systemic violence. So for him, what he does with a lot of white supremacists do, and a lot of people who believe in hierarchy and humanity, who believe in systemic oppression, they do what he just did. It may seem very simple, like maybe folks out there who saw the clip before or watching right now didn't catch it. He said, "I like her," as in kind of like, man, you know what? After all this shit, I realized I like her. This is a good person. And what happens is that he says, well, I interpersonally like you. How can I be a bad person? I like you. We like each other. This goes back to like, well, my dad, he can't be a racist. He voted Trump, but he's not he's not a fascist. Mike Johnson uses his power to uphold systems of oppression, like taking away rights, like taking away funds, like not allowing people to be represented in Congress, but like Congresswoman now, Adelita Grijalva, because he is doing the bidding of a man who was afraid of his pedophile files coming out. So we on the left have to stop in caring that these fucking psychopaths, these sociopaths who hate themselves, don't accept us. And I find that a lot within liberal circles, whether that be when I was the chair, whether that be when I'm out organizing. It's like, well, what are they going to think? They're going to say this. They're going to call you radical. Who cares? Who? Mike Johnson, I like, she should be like, Mike Johnson, I don't give a fuck if you like me. I don't give a fuck if you like me. You are a part of a movement that is dangerous and deadly to not just my state, but to people in my ethnicity, to people in my background, to women. I mean, she should have just chopped his little Keebler-Elf ass down to size. But that's what we have to get away from, is the idea that these psycho sickos and perverts, we need to have them like us. These people who believe in domination. Mike Johnson, again, this guy who has to have a covenant eyes where he watches his son's porns and his son holds him accountable with his porn. Fucking freaks, man. And like, these are the people that the Democratic Party writ large, right, from Ken Martin all the way down. Well, we want to appeal to those people. Fuck that. Look, 90 million people didn't vote this past election, right? This, at the end of the day, this is a political podcast. 90 million people said, you know what, it's not for me. And with that, the Democratic Party needs to be lockstep, offering something to people to get them to vote.
Yeah. So Grijalva, Representative Grijalva, was sworn in, and after she was sworn in,
she went to the floor, right?
She went to the floor, and so with that,
you got that clip?
I got that clip.
Here we go.
I will sign the discharge petition right now to release the Epstein files. Justice cannot wait another day. Adelante, mi gente. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. I yield back.
Well, prior to that, where she was saying that, you know, we were finding out more about Trump. She was putting his name in her speech, in her inaugural speech on the congressional floor, basically saying that we found out more information. We know that Trump is more heavily implicated than thought before. And then she gets to the point of like, and I'm going to go sign it right now, justice cannot wait. And she's 100% correct. Now, she did become the 218th vote. People were asking, you know, if Trump, he had this, you know, last minute meeting with Lauren Boebert, Kash Patel, Pam Blondie, in the damn Situation Room. You know, the Situation Room, the place where you go in case there's some sort of nuclear fallout or a strike on a terrorist, you know. But he was having his own situation. So he's like, I'm having a situation. I got to go to the Situation Room to talk about the Epstein files, because we can't, no phones, because, you know, the Situation Room, there's no phones. It's a skiff, so you can't have any of that stuff there. In his addled, rapacious mind, he thought this was the best place for them to have this conversation. Grijalva said that, because they were asking, like, well, what if Trump gets, you know, Boebert or Nancy Mace to flip? And she was like, you know what, though? I was the 218th vote, which means if those people had already signed, there is no going back, where there is no like, oh, I take my signature off. So those signatures were already on. And in fact, Lauren Boebert said when she left that meeting, when Bobo hands, you know, Bobo Juice hands from her slap happy day is at the Beetlejuice play. She said that she felt even more compelled to release it after that pressure. And she said, yes, I was pressured in that meeting. Now, what's happening, Rom, is that MAGA is seeing the end of Trump. They're seeing that there's going to be a life after Trump. It doesn't mean, they're going to eventually talk shit about him right now, but they're seeing, hey, this guy, he can't walk straight, the cankles, the multiple trips, him saying, I have my second biannual physical, and I aced it. I did so good they even gave me a free MRI. So like they're realizing this man has a date with death, natural death, right? It's coming sooner than later.
Yeah,
so they're jockeying, right?
Yeah. His utility ran out, right? He's a useful idiot. He's a useful
weak.
idiot. They knew. Oh, let's see. It's my mic. Yeah, they knew that he wasn't. Oh, maybe that's what's wrong with my sound.
What's that?
Let me check. Let me change.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Can you hear this click clacking or no?
I can hear that click 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 click.
Okay. Anyways, he was. They knew who he was. I mean, they knew this stuff. It's not
That's
like
right.
it's not like it's just like, how long can we ride this out? How long can
To
it
get our
benefit
agenda
us?
through.
Yeah. And so, how long will the people like allow us to not be held accountable?
To rape, pillage, and kill them, starve them.
And even I think there was a post that you sent me from JD Vance from 2016. Right.
Well, let's hold on to that because that we'll use that for the other part. Because it all bleeds in together, right? This to get that to get yeah.
Look. So, anyways, so let's see. This happened, and then more emails were released.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't understand why they didn't just release these emails before.
And this is the thing. This is the right. I've seen a fan of the show, Robert Burns, commenting on things, saying like, "Hold on a minute, why didn't the Biden administration release this? Aren't you kind of sad? Aren't you? You're all right. You're okay." I'll never forget that fucking stupid ass directed camera video he made after Charlie Kirk got fucking popped. Oh, you all right? Are you sad? Are you hurt? Anyway, so when the right wing are saying, well, hold on, Joe Biden was the president for 4 years. Why did the Democrats release this stuff? What's going on, Democrat demon rats? Now, the bullshit of it is first of all, this man, Jeffrey Epstein, has said multiple times on multiple occasions in multiple interviews with Michael Wolff and other people that, I've known Jeffrey Epstein for a long time. Jeffrey Epstein, as we're going to get into in some of these emails coming up, he breaks him down. People forget, and that's what I did before I get into the Ghislaine Maxwell stuff that people are saying, why didn't he release this stuff then? Jeffrey Epstein, the prolific pedophile, human trafficker of children. Let's not forget that. And these aren't young women that he liked them. These are children. Can't drive a car, can't vote, can't work, can't file taxes, can't rent a car, can't be by themselves, can't go to a rated R movie. Still asking mommy, daddy questions of that age. I have different situations, right? So I just want to be very clear, but it kind of gets lost in the sauce because these people have grown up since then, but they've grown up with trauma. Jeffrey Epstein was arrested when who was the president?
Trump.
Okay. He was charged and imprisoned when who was the president?
Trump.
And 2 days before he was visited by the Attorney General. I don't think it was Merrick Garland. Under which president?
Trump.
Bill Barr. That's right. That's correct. Good job. 3 of 3. Look at you, Rom. But we forget Bill Barr's father, Donald Barr, was the one who gave Jeffrey Epstein his first job ever at some obscure, I forget the name of the school, but it's a prestigious school in New York. And Jeffrey Epstein wasn't a teacher, and because Bill Barr's father was into this thing called it's like a scientific sexual books that he used to write these books. So I mean, the tail of the dog is very long. It goes back that far. That Bill Barr's father was the one that knew about this man and gave him that first job. And if you go to search real quick, but I forget the name of the school. It's a school in New York. It's a very prestigious high school still to this day in New York City. Mm-hmm. He met with him. And then 2 days later, all of a sudden, he committed suicide. He committed suicide. Now, these people who are telling us, why did Trump release? Why did Biden with Biden? You riding with Biden? I think Biden been lying. Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested in 2021. Now, I was about to go to law school during the pandemic. Took the LSAT, getting geared up. Not saying I'm an attorney by any stretch of the imagination. I do know this, though. When there's an open investigation and when there's an open court case going on, you usually don't kind of just dole out evidence to the public while there's an active trial going on. I should say that's what I'm going to say. When there's an active trial going on, she was in trial the entire time. So when people are like, "Well, why didn't you release?" There was a trial going on in 2022. She was convicted in 2023. So she really didn't spend that much time in prison.
Yeah.
So Trump, so all these emails that we're getting, all these, well, they're releasing another Democrats. This is actually coming from the Epstein estate. This is not coming from the DOJ, who is led by Pam Blondie and Crash Patel, Cash App. So when these MAGA fools like Mayor Robert Burns, a sitting person in power who has the brain capacity of sea monkeys, says things like, well, what about Clinton and all these things? And, it ain't got shit to do with me. At the end of the day, it's your guy who he knew he had dirt on, sent his attack dog, blustering bulldog Bill Barr to go visit that man in prison. And all of a sudden, people turned around, the cameras turned off, the guard fell asleep, and he hung himself in a place where they said, you really can't hang yourself. There's no place to hang yourself. There's not enough rope to hang yourself. There's not enough space to hang yourself. So I just want to kind of address just the framing of all of this that the right's trying to do, because there's a lot. One thing that we've gotten in 2025, Rom, is a lot of, people are worried about fentanyl. The worst drug in the world is copium, and these folks are trying to cope.
Yeah. What I meant, I appreciate all the context and explaining it for the viewers and the listeners. What I meant was, like, why didn't they release this a month ago or, however long? Like, where did these emails, like,
the Epstein estate?
Yeah. Okay. And then, like, who's sitting on them?
Now, I don't know that. Now, I don't know when they're getting them. To be fair, I don't know. I mean, they could have gotten them a few days before. We don't. That's the part we don't know. It doesn't seem like they've gotten years and years in advance. It does seem like they were pretty fresh. So, yeah. Again, we're working with what we got as people. At the end of the day, none of us are indicted. None of us need to be feeling sad about this shit.
Right. So, it seems that the veil is being lifted once again, that now people within Trump's camp, Republican camp, MAGA camp, conservatives are now starting to change their tune into justifying pedophilia. So saying, the ages are, I mean, we talked about this on our first episode. It was our first clip. We were talking about Matt Gaetz and his scandal. And before it became a scandal, we actually talked about it the day before. And he was, he had raped a 17-year-old girl, and we found out more of the story. I think it was today. I mean, these days blur at this point. There's just so much news in a day. It's overload. But yeah, he took advantage of a homeless girl who was working at McDonald's and needed money.
Yep, for a medical procedure.
Yeah. And so, it's really quite frightening how many people are, basically saying, well, how old was she? Oh, 14. That's not bad. Megyn Kelly. We'll talk about that. Mm-hmm. 14. So what is that? Like, they're just deciding to changed the age of consent. They trying to change their morals. Like, what was their moral? Like, was it ever their moral standard?
No.
They always condone this. This is what they've been raising in their boys. We talked about, what's his name at the college, Brock Turner, who raped, I think raped a girl or woman. She was in college, but he raped her.
He was found raping her in the
alley. So, like, these people who Megyn Kelly will play the clip, has a 15-year-old daughter.
You're just about in that age range,
which is wild to me. That
that's 10 years older than my daughter.
I'm saying, like,
so in 10 years from now, it's okay for Trump to fuck my daughter. Like, y'all are out of y'all minds. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are some sick fucking people. And the fact that Democrats out here, these white liberals, are out here still trying to act like, well, my friends across the island, we got to appeal to these fucking. I'm not appealing to pedophile apologists. Y'all can. They've been calling me. The thing is, it's never stuck. And they go, "You're a pedophile because you're a groomer." This is like it doesn't impact us because we're not pedophiles and groomers. It impacts you because that's the most important thing to you because you are a pedophile groomer or a pedophile groomer apologist. All these 7 million voters are at this current state. If you are not speaking up saying, I denounce this system, not just this man. And I don't give a fuck who's in it. What about Clinton? What about Clinton? My dad could be in that shit. Okay? Like, I don't give a fuck. It could be me. I'm like, no, it's time for me to go to jail. So, like, this is crazy. This whole, like, well, what about Clinton? What about? Okay, let me get rid of my Clinton hat, my Clinton bumper sticker, my Clinton t-shirt, my Clinton tattoo. Oh, we don't have that. We're not in a cult.
Yeah. So, but no, it is frightening that this is how the conversation's heading. And, I know that I've seen people on Truth Social and Twitter, these MAGA people who are, this is the worst thing. I mean, do you remember when when Epstein was the biggest thing? And then they were like, they were going to leave. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, they're back on the gravy train.
Whatever Trump said.
And so now we're at a point where they have to normalize it to, can't be excused anymore because it's clearly that, I mean, the man is trying his hardest to not get these files released. He's having secret meetings to not get these files released. He's acting like somebody who's guilty, whether he was directly involved, whether he had knowledge of such. But it was a hoax before, and even in the same post, it's a hoax. But there's Democrats involved.
Don't let them. It's a hoax, but we can't let it come out. If it's a hoax. Why did it come a hoax then?
And here's the thing: is like we know, like this stuff, like this ain't nothing new. This is what we expected. Where we're at with this, we knew this was going to happen. But like, I don't know if I really like foresaw like the normalization or the attempt to normalize, pedophilia, rape, assault. I mean, they've been justified.
Well, they've been on that. This is grabbed by the pussy. Don't forget that.
I mean, that's why I said they've been doing that. But again, they're moving, keep on moving. They're normalizing.
This is a man that said, when Tiffany was born, she's got her mother's legs, but we don't know if she's got.
And they're trying to gaslight. But let's play Megyn Kelly because this shit's crazy. Oh, she's crazy. That's the norm for them. Oh, okay, get that to stick. All right, let's play this.
I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this.
When God...
As for Epstein, I've said this, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting.
So first off, 15 is not barely legal. So
it's
barely legal is 18. Barely legal is like 18, that whole barely legal.
Right.
So
and only perverts say that. I like them barely legal. Like I've never said like I mean we like for me when I was coming up, like I've always rocked with girls or women they were roughly around my age, right? Like the youngest person I've ever been with is my wife, who's 4 years younger than me. But at that time I met her, we were both adults. You know, like I was 25, she was 21. You know, it wasn't like I'm 21 and she's was it 17? You know, it wasn't that. Or I'm 18 and she's 14. It was never that, right? So like when they say this, and if you can, and I'll just jump in, can you or you speak? But on my page, I have the back and forth where she knows that she's fucking wrong. If you can, after you go.
Yeah, I'll go back to. I was in Chicago. Quick. I was in Chicago a few weeks ago. Me and my boy went to Fulton Market, and we went to a couple bars. And one of the bars, we were first off the whole area. I was like, what's going on? Like, why? Are these people like 18 or 21? And I'm like, because they look young to me,
or right?
And
old,
so,
bro.
Yeah, I know we're getting old. I was like,
I said you were the same age. Rom, you getting old, bro.
Well, apparently they were like Northwestern University had a. I don't know. They were doing a bunch of stuff in the city, but
okay.
It was just, I was just like, man, like let's get out of here because
for real, yeah.
I'm old. Like they literally look like children. They don't look like 18 to me. So anyways, I digress. But it's especially weird coming from a woman, and as she prepares to.
I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to.
So they could pass for younger than they were. So they were 14, but they might look 8, but they look legal. Which is it?
What does that mean? What does look?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I mean, when you're a star, they let you do it. Grab them by the.
Well, and so that's the thing. And there was some states that changed the age from they were trying to change the age to consent from in marriage from 17 or 18 to 14. There was I should have looked up the story, but there was a representative who was
there's multiple states
accused of raping a 14-year-old or like a lot of them. You notice
always Republican.
Notice their language. They had sexual relationship with a 14-year-old.
Dude, this shit's been getting so normalized. Have you heard of MAPS?
They don't even call it rape anymore. Have I heard of what?
MAPS.
No.
These are this is how much they're trying to normalize it in the zeitgeist of people. It's minor attracted people.
I've heard of something along those lines. Do you know these people who concocted Pizzagate and said Wayfair was a thing and there were secret codes are basically everything these people do is projection.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was gonna.
It is our projection. I was gonna say about how specifically herself. She was an attorney. She went to law school, passed the bar. Supposed to be one of the brightest minds on the right. This is what you get. What the Tulsa Tribune said in 1921, post the Tulsa massacre. They said racism, which they really meant white supremacy culture. They didn't have the language back then, but racism has long hid behind the skirts of white women. If you can, real quick, go to my page. I posted this side by side just to really prove how sickening what we just heard was. Because look, if you don't know any better, like again, I tell my story. When I was younger, I was a sexist. I was a misogynist. I held anti-black racism. I was homophobic, trans, you name it, all the things. But since then, I've grown, and I have no excuse to ever transgress and go backwards just to, I don't know, make a buck to gain an argument. If you see there should be two, like black and white, sure, okay. Play this so you know that she knows better.
Okay, so we got here.
You feel as a victim. You feel a victim. To people who are going to be out there, because some are going to judge and say you were 15, you were 16, you were 17, you were a willing participant, Again, the legal age of consent in California is 18, so there's no consenting for a 14 or even a 17-year-old in these circumstances.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything.
So she knew there is no such thing as consensual sex. You can't consent as a child. Children can't consent. That's the point. They can't. She knew that because she was trying to walk someone down from Scott Baio. If you all remember, was a big Trump supporter during his first administration, because this is this whole phalanx of people who have sexual depravity and all kind of shit. They always end up being Trumpers. So she knows that, yes, the look of it. And again, she says that she knows that someone that below the age of 18 cannot consent. And that is disgusting that now, years later, well, I mean, they're not 8-year-olds. Go to hell, Meghan R. Kelly. Go to hell, Meghan R. Kelly. And this is the person that, who is it, CBS or is it NBC, gave her $65 million after she said the whole, I don't see what's wrong with
NBC.
Wearing blackface. NBC.
Yeah. I mean, for a year on her, she did a year on her contract, and they gave her, I mean,
60. Look, I mean, this is failing upwards, brother.
You know, this stuff is so exhausting. I mean,
black fatigue. Right? This is the real black fatigue. We're tired of y'all shit.
It's like clockwork. You know, they just, and so here, let's go to the other. Can we go to the other fellas that well, let's show this one first. What do we got here?
Why are you saying?
You remember JD Vance called?
Oh,
but yeah. We said this is October 7th, 2016.
So not today.
No. What percentage of American population has Donald Trump sexually assaulted?
Yikers! So not only is he Hitler, he also sexually assaults people. He's saying it kind of like a rhetorical, like, "Come on, guys."
Yeah, and then we got we got these guys.
Oh,
oops, there we go. All right. Sound.
We need to release the Epstein list.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. Why is the FBI protecting the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list?
Some governments around the world may have some material that's related to the Epstein thing. Bill Clinton was knee deep in this, man.
So that was the FBI and the FBI director and the
Cuomo's mustache,
deputy. Yeah, I know the little porn stash he got. Here, listen, but even listen to him.
He was knee deep. Yeah, you got to release it. Now what? What changed? They literally campaigned on this. It was part of the platform of MAGA.
What changed?
All right. What happened to you, Chris Clement?
Well, so this is why. So this is exactly why you don't. You know when you do a job interview. You know when you go for a job and they do a background check. They do a background check because they don't want you to be compromised. They don't want you to be a criminal piece of shit, right? You're then can be extorted. You can then be blackmailed. You can then be all of these things.
You can bring criminality into the organization.
Who come to find out today, Kash Patel also was not background checked before becoming our FBI director.
Knock me over with a feather.
And no telling who he did not background check. He bypassed polygraphs for several officials. So here's the thing. If you are compromised, especially by a foreign government, they know they have something and they can blackmail you. They have something over you. We're all compromised. They can do whatever they want to not. He is literally attacking American people on American soil. He is killing the economy. They are taking a wrecking ball because he doesn't want to come out But that's why I said it's a useful tool for the Project 25 Heritage Foundation folks. For these billionaires, he is the perfect useful idiot.
And that's
because they have it over him.
And that's why they're saying his age starting to trick you. They're like, oh my God, the sand is running out of the hourglass with this guy.
It's just gonna be it's only gonna be a few weeks before he just starts forgetting what he's saying, and
he's already doing that.
Starts blurting out his crimes, and
he's doing that too. Like we're not gonna ask Congress for an act of war. We're just gonna kill them like dead. And, I mean, at this point, Venezuela, the ocean in front of Venezuela is a killing field. We're at what's 80, 79 deaths, murders, slaughters, and we just celebrated Veterans Day. I mean, are we supposed to respect those troops who push those buttons and on those drones and are on those ships about to invade a country that isn't doing anything to us? I mean, look, we gotta start getting real about what America is, but that's a separate conversation.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a separate conversation because I don't know what we're doing anymore. I mean, there's people who, I mean, I mean, are we trying to? Are we just waiting and hoping for these 2 to 3%, 5% more Republicans to, I don't know,
strong, get a backbone,
figure out where their line is? I mean, what are we waiting for? I mean, because it's just happening. It's just everything is just happening over and over. He tells you who he is. You see who he is. Everyone around him tells you who he is. The people that work for him tell you who he is eventually. So.
And to your point, we had to fight back against this shit. And I don't know if you saw this clip. If you maybe could search it real quick. But Angus King, he was one of the 8 senators who betrayed, the holdout folks who had no reason to lose their SNAP benefits and lose their pay. Y'all could have just caved day one if it was like this. But Angus King was on Morning Joe. If you could search this clip. And the clip made me so infuriated. Is that a word? Infuriating. I was experiencing infuri. I was in a state of infuri. But oh yes, here we go. So check this shit out. This is one of the 8 senators, guys. And again, he was the Attorney General of, I believe, Maine. Before this is a smart, quote unquote, smart guy, independent minded.
Why did you decide to vote with Republicans to open the government?
Well, Joe, you have to go back to what the strategy was at the beginning of the shutdown. There were 2 goals, both of which I support. One was standing up to Donald Trump. The other was getting some resolution on the ACA premium tax credit issue. The problem was the shutdown wasn't accomplishing either goals, and there was there was zero likelihood that it was going to. In terms of standing up to Donald Trump, the shutdown actually gave him more power. Exhibit A being what he's done with SNAP and SNAP benefits across the country. And then secondly, and I've been a big supporter of the.
So what's irritating about just hearing that? First of all, how did that make you feel? Just hearing like actually standing up to Donald Trump gave him more power. I mean, just saying that is like I think I just had a slight a capillary burst in my brain. What? Okay, you go, because I'm mad. Because I hear it every time I hear it, it pisses me off. What do you think about hearing that?
I mean, I just don't think these guys have these. I don't know if it's because I don't want to be an ageist. I mean, it's the type of people. I mean, Dick Durbin's what, 78? How old is Angus King?
81.
I think it was, as far as I know, it was like all old white men and women.
But what's irritating about
it's just crazy. It's just like it feels so like it's so weak. Like it's like the same thing as like we're gonna write a strongly worded letter.
It's worse. Deal, right? It's worse because he's saying at this point look, this man is inevitable. This man is Thanos. This man, when he snaps that gauntlet, half the galaxy is gonna be gone. This man, we can't stop him. He's the strongest, biggest. His dick's 100 feet long. He's 190 pounds. He can run a 2.2. This man is faster than Deion Sanders in his prime.
And here's the other.
But just real quick, what's so infuriating about it is hearing him say that people took to, like, and we criticize No Kings, right? We criticize the No Kings protest, march, parade, whatever you want to call it. But people took to the streets. white people. They took to the streets and they said they weren't happy, right? They took time out of their day to say, look, we are fighting against this.
Right.
So now we need our elected officials to do
7 million.
to do the damn thing.
Well,
so what's the point of a no kings?
Tuesday.
Like if you're gonna leave it, if you're gonna leave all the power to all the human beings, but you're in a position of power, we want you to do something more. And that fucking pisses me off to hear that shit, because it reminds me of like when people are talking about Gaza and I'm fucking crying over little babies that look like my daughter and your daughters and my son when he was little. And I'm praying, and I'm not even I'm an atheist. And I'm praying that I wish I could do something more. And you are in a position to do something more. That's why I will not let Kamala Harris off the hook, because all this like, well, I wished I could do something more. I wish I could have stopped those bombs from dropping. I wish these little girls weren't not getting raped by a fucking president who's a fucking pedophile. You have the lever of power. Stop telling me that I can't do nothing. So who the fuck is supposed to stop this motherfucker then?
Not only no kings, but Tuesday elections, last Tuesday, Democrats, not only did they win, but they won by margins of 10%. They won in red areas. They won in Mississippi and Georgia.
Couldn't find one.
I mean,
and
so you mean to tell me out of the 40 days, in the one time span in less than a week, y'all decide that this was the weakest moment that you had to give in. On top of that, the Supreme Court took the SNAP, the emergency funds, and they were looking at it. And the reason why, and they basically sent it back to the lower appeals court, Ketanji Brown Jackson. It said, and then that court said, it needs to be paid out. There's no appeal. And so it came back to the Supreme Court on Monday. They said that they were going to withhold judgment because the shutdown was ending. So it was very likely that the Supreme Court could have released the emergency funds and SNAP would have been funded for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So and this is in the midst of Trump having his worst week ever, Republicans having their worst week ever.
He was going crazy.
Gaining traction. There was a lot of federal workers and employees who were basically willing to continue to sacrifice themselves, continue working, but also prepare to, survive a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because in the long run, it's still, these people who got fired, okay, they get their jobs back and then they're going to get fired again. So, they're going to find a way to continue to disrupt the government, obstructs.
And again, like, none of this shit was the point of the holdout. None of this was the point of the holdout. And for you to sit up here on Morning Joe, a man who also, we cannot forget, helped build this fucking machine. He voted for all this shit back when he was in Congress and all of it. And he was and is a right-wing talking head. For you to go up on this motherfucker's show and be like, well, we actually fighting Trump gives him more strength. It's like the movie Gremlins. When you give them food or water after midnight, they actually get stronger. It's like, what? So at the end of the day, why the fuck are you there? Go home. This is why when we get clips like Stephen A. Smith trying to talk about Jasmine Crockett, quite frankly, Jasmine Crockett, you up here talking about the man. Okay, that's what she's supposed to do. Because what you're saying is if you don't fight them, all we can do is just fall down and fall in line with them. And no one wants that on our side, quote unquote, our side. This is the violence of a binary. This is the violence of a binary. You are forced into one position or another rather than having a principled stand and being 10 toes down and be like, you know what? Look, y'all, hold on. We're gonna figure out how to get money, move shit around. We are fighting for you. This man is the reason your healthcare premiums are about to go up. Because the thing about folks who are in the marketplace is, let's say you don't make enough money or you don't have a job where you are getting paid. You might be a freelancer. You might be doing something, like that. your premiums are about $300 a month, right? If these subsidies expire by the end of January, the price can go up to it could be tripled. It could be up to $1,300. I heard sort of a guy. His premium right now, he's a family of 4. Premium $700. His premium is going to go to $2,500 a month. And there's this thing called the subsidies cliff. If you are on the ACA right now, you probably already aware of this term, the subsidies cliff, where you can afford that, but if that shit triples or doubles or whatever the case may be, those people, they will make the decision, well, do I want to pay for healthcare or do I want to pay for food or a roof over my head? And they will no longer be on health. They will no longer have healthcare or access to healthcare because, again, insurance is a scam. It actually is not healthcare. It is a block. It is a obstacle to get you to your healthcare. Your healthcare is provided by doctors and nurses like my mother. Okay, they are not. The insurance companies are just middlemen. They're mafiosos. So that is what this all is about. People are going to, one of our people that we listen to, Danielle Moody, said, come January, she will no longer be on healthcare. She's going to make the financial decision because where's she going to get that fucking money from? So people need to understand these are the consequences. So when Angus King sits his rich, wealthy, privileged, powerful ass on a television show and says, actually, fighting Trump makes him so what the fuck we supposed to do? What so then I mean you're a lawyer. So what else should we do then? So don't fight him. That's what you're saying.
I just don't
get out the seat, bro.
Like
gotta go.
What happened between day 1 and day 40?
Gotta go.
I mean, it was the same man he was before, and now he's back with a vengeance, right? So I mean, like now that he's in a, I can't believe how Democrats just, roll over. Schumer's got to go. He can't. If you're not even in the negotiation table. I mean, these people are.
That's some fucking bullshit. Okay, well, we get it. You're cussing, Chuck. We don't care that you're cussing.
I don't know. These people just don't know how to negotiate. I don't know. They don't know. I don't know what it is. I just way. I'm over it.
You ask me how I feel about this. I say, no fucking way. Is that right, grandson? On the TikTok? There you go. All right. Last story. This has been blowing up all. Oh no. Hold on. Did we get to? Yeah, I guess we did. Anyway, but I did want to talk about some more of the Epstein stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
Just Ghislaine Maxwell, and it just proves that she lied to Todd Blanche, who was, if you guys remember, Todd Blanche was Donald Trump's defense attorney for his 34 count felonies. Lost bigly. He lost bigly. I was convicted of 34 felonies. He is now the deputy attorney general for America. So he has nothing else better to do to track down. Besides go sit with Ghislaine Maxwell for what 3 or 4 days, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm pissed about? Everything that's being reported today is like it's being reported like it's some brand new shit. This is like
Well, it depends what you're talking about because there's so much shit. What are you talking about? I'm like, what? Okay, I'm technically. Yes, what? But what?
But like the fact that he met with her, the fact that she's in a minimal security prison, has a dog and a puppy, has a servant. I mean,
and they said no one who has that charge has a dog.
After she the same, but it sounds very similar to the Epstein meeting, right? You go and meet. It could have went 2 different ways. She could have been dead in her cell in 2 days.
What she gonna
or
do?
She could keep her mouth shut and she could be, living her best life till they get her out. Till
they got her puppy. They said she's got visits that no one knows who's coming to visit her. They are not keeping logs of who's visiting her. Secret visits. And the other prisoners who are there have to be in their cells when she's getting visits, so they can't even know who's visiting her. This is all above board, just like Jesus would want. And these fucking Christian conservatives who are up here, we're protecting the children. You were never protecting the children. You were never protecting the children. You were protecting the people harming the children. And using fucking people.
Using children to hide your bigotry.
That's right.
So
and
they're
y'all
paying
never
people.
cared about the kids. In fact, you never cared about women or girls. You know how I know that? Because all we had to do was just listen to them.
That's
all this shit. Oh, hold on, this email here, and I posted today. Remember about 4 or 5 years ago, they were talking about Wayfair, and there was this conspiracy theory. It just shows how like all that shit is churched up to get these people to be so confused, when in reality the corruption and the vileness is out in the open. But you remember like Wayfair, it's like, hold on, if the name is like Elizabeth, the Elizabeth dresser drawer set, then that's how they're going to transport a girl named Elizabeth in the dresser drawer is 22,000. You remember that shit? That conspiracy? Do you remember this?
I do. Yeah,
okay. And it's like, and then the second part of the tweet was like, but in reality, it's like these emails that are like, hey, it's me, your pedophile friend Jeffrey. Do you want to come do some sex crimes at my house? It's like there was all this Pizzagate, and there's, if you replace the word pizza with child's, traffic, y'all were overthinking it. And that's what they needed y'all to be so distracted, instead of realizing the people that you're supporting, they're using things like racism, homophobia, xenophobia to get you so distracted, and then to support them. And that's why there's this sunk cost fallacy where so many people right now are like, you know what? Oh, they're having a Meghan R. Kelly themselves out of this wet bag. They're trying to have to be like, well, it's actually, is it 13? Is it 14? But in reality, they know that was your daughter.
Oh, well,
if your daughter,
they start saying things like, "Oh, she's 15, but she looked 18."
It's some shit pedophiles say.
What are you saying?
And we got to start being real with that.
And so,
but the problem is, people got these motherfuckers in their family.
Well, yeah, and so they, and here's the thing: now that it's becoming something excusable, because there was already this whole thing about hiding what grandpa's doing and hiding what uncle's doing and all that stuff, and so
we're all Trumpers.
now that well, I think look, these people, sexual assault, pedophiles come in all shapes and sizes.
Agreed. I'm looking at the data.
Yeah, but like, and also you look at, like, especially when you look at in the government and you look at who's in power. But
absolutely, people who create laws.
But we just had, like, I'm not going to put on blinders either. North Carolina, black Democrat just got he just got resigned.
But he's not representative of the majority.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, my point is, like, it's now becoming to this thing where, and we've talked. Here's the, I'm just drained, and like, again, we've talked about this stuff. A lot of people understand what we're talking about, but there's, at this point, and especially if you're a liberal and you're like, still like, well, we got to reach out to them and embrace them. Like, who are you embracing at this point? Like, this is it. Like, anyone who doesn't like abandon this whole Trump Republican pedophile ring, this whole Epstein thing, anyone who's on these posts, and your friends and neighbors who are like, well, they're making mistakes. So what's the common ground? Like, these are literally the pieces of shit. These are like the worst people on earth.
Correct.
So there is no like, and so like, these are the people, these are the Confederacy people, these are the people who these descendants of the Confederacy, the descendants of people who own slaves, the descendants of people who lynch people. This is like, what, like, look,
but that's the thing. America has had a steady diet of not looking at itself in the mirror.
And then you want to uneducate then you want to keep these
that's how you keep
educated people.
That's how you keep them vulnerable. That's how, if you're not educated and you're hungry and you're desperate, I can rape you. Look at that Matt Gaetz story.
Yeah.
They want to keep women like that, and not just women. They want to keep people like that. Don't forget, like, this is the consumption of people, not just through mastification, through eating them, but actually consuming their time, consuming their opportunities, consuming their options. But you made a really good point. And I've been thinking about this, of how we should really refocus and reframe talking to these fucking people. Because again, using our local bigots like Robert Burns and Brian Talbert, these other fucking assholes out here, is that, like, they're very quick. You guys are pedophiles, and you guys are this, that, and the third. You guys, the list is so long of Republicans that have been outed. Again, even when you bring up the one black guy here in Charlotte, it's like, sure, I don't fuck him. He's a piece of shit. And he was actually aligned with the GOP, ironically, throughout his term as a congressperson. He was a fucking spoiler, right? He kept siding with the Republican Party. Dare I say he was a plant? But I have all smoke for fucking pedophiles and anybody that harms children. But the way I've been looking at it, Ron, and again, this shit here, the New York Times headline about this shit was even worse. It was like, girl down on her luck. Really just needed some help from Matt Gaetz, or leaving her vulnerable to Matt. It was like, no, he was fucking a child and paying to fuck a child. And all this, we can't say the word fuck. Look, we're talking about our daughters. Do y'all have no backbone? Do you have no strength in this moment? What is it? Why are you trying to appeal to people that want to vote for Matt Gaetz down in Florida 1st District? Why do you want to appeal to people to vote for Donald Trump, who said that Epstein said in one of the emails, because Donald Trump was listed like thousands of times in the emails released by the Epstein estate, that I don't know if you heard this story, that Trump was, when he was walking into like where Epstein had these girls, he stumbled. He stumbled because he caught a glimpse of them, and he was staring through the glass to the point where his nose left a nose print because he was ogling them so hard. Children.
I mean, he said he went through dressing rooms of the teen pageants because he could. I don't understand what's changed really between.
It's not, man. You're trying to put too much sense. I'm trying to say fuck them. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
I'm not because you're trying to put logic behind it. Like there's no logic. I let go of that shit a long time ago. Like what changed?
Well,
it doesn't matter.
My point is like, what do we think is going to happen with this?
What we allow it to. And I'm not talking about the Democratic Party, but what I'm saying is, yeah, I know what you're saying. Where you're like, well, we're kind of hopeless and helpless. We, as people, have to be as irritated. I mean, not irritated, infuriated. If that was your daughter, if that was this is the power of empathy. This is the power of a righteous rage. This is the power of a savage rage, which the colonizers then said was illegal. Well, look, they don't know how to act. They're all no. We have a savage rage because you were acting savagely towards us and our children. And I'm gonna call you a fucking pedophile, and I'm gonna sue you. Okay, let's do some discovery. Okay, we're gonna have to go through it. All right, let's do it then.
Yep.
I'm gonna use the evidence that was provided to me. Let's just see. Let's turn over some rocks, baby. And if I'm wrong, fuck it. Sue me to the dirt. But I doubt that I am. But Ron, to your point, what I was saying that you really made was really good about like how we view these people and what changed and all that stuff. But like what I've been thinking over the past few days is that when next time I'm in front of a Robert Burns or these people who are like, you're into the pedophile, you're a groomer, you're a this, and because they'll find one thing and they'll be like, well, you're into chopping boys' pee-pees off and making them girls, and they go to school as a boy and they come home a girl and all this stupid shit. It's very simple, Ron. It's very simple. If I wanted to rape children, which party should I vote for? If I wanted to shoot up a school and have access to the gun to do so, which party should I vote for? If I want to lynch a black man and get off scot-free and actually get invited onto cable news television, which party should I vote for? If I wanted to take voting rights away from black people, which party should I vote for?
If you wanted to commit fraud, voter fraud, if you wanted to break into the Capitol, right? If you want to, the list goes on.
Well, no, it's the end game, right? Those are the outcomes, right? Because the break into the Capitol wasn't the outcome. The outcome was to stop the election. If I want to stop an election that was duly won by people who beat my guy, which party would I vote for? Like, you have to go to the extremists. Not because even there was just like you're getting caught up in the shit. If I want to fucking rape a child, which party would I vote for? Because one party is actively trying to lower marriage ages. Which party should I vote for? So I don't want to hear you're into this, you're into that. No, if I want to beat my wife to death, which party should I vote for? And that is the energy we need to have when we're talking to these people, is the extremist outcome, because they're already there. They don't want democracy. You've heard Peter Thiel and Yarvin. Democracy does not work for them. And they have empowered these low-level whites to believe that they are also empowered. Your life ain't got no better. Your dollar don't go no further than it did 10 months ago. You're about to lose all your fucking health care. You got 3 teeth in your head. You're about to be down to 1, suckling on a fucking corn kernel. That's what you're about to get. So when I ask, if you want to starve people, which party should you vote for? Starve children. If you want to, now sadly, if I say this one, by both parties, if you want to bomb kids in another country, unfortunately, that's a bipartisan effect. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we have to have some solid footing here. When we're talking about meeting, to your point, we got to meet them in the middle. And I've heard it from Democratic leadership. Again, I was a party chair as well. We got to meet them in the middle. They want to rape children. Well, not my mother. My mother doesn't, but she wants to give power to people that want to use the power of their pen, not to make your life better, not to help you, but so they can lower the age to rape children, so they can starve people, so they can take away your health care, so they can make sure that you don't get access to a home, that you can make sure that your wages don't raise. That's what they want. You cannot point out a single right that has been expanded by the Republican Party. Not a single one. Besides the access to guns. And that's not even the thing. So when we're having these, we're caught up in this shit in the middle, when they're, well, actually this and the parliamentarian, and did you know this, and this on the Democrats. You want kids to be raped, bro. And the evidence is the laundry list, the fucking toilet paper list of names of Republican congresspeople and Republican mayors and Republican white men. Don Lemon had this fantastic video on his Instagram today. I reposted on my story. And it was of Tim Tebow. And we've also seen a clip of Tim Tebow talking about the majority of people that consume child pornography are white men. And the majority of people that commit these crimes against children are white men. And it moved Don Lemon to tears. And he is sitting there saying, we got to start being honest about this shit. But if we're too busy, instead of trying to be honest, we're too busy trying to meet them in the fucking middle. I'm not voting for you either. You're trying to meet a pedophile in the fucking middle.
Right. You know, yeah. Tim Tebow said some pretty good stuff. You know, because they've liked to weaponize Tebow or you know, use him and his Christianity and his outward public showing for love of God. But then he says some things that, like, call out their own, and then they take offense. And why are you taking offense? Why are you taking offense?
See if you can pull that clip, because it was powerful, man. It's like we're at a time where people are so like, who's going to stand up for us? That'll be the last we're going to get to about the ICE. But but who's going to stand up for our most vulnerable? Because if you're not going to stand up for kids, you're absolutely not going to stand up for an immigrant man you don't know who's just trying to find a job at Home Depot at 6 o'clock in the morning. You're not going to stand up for him if you're not standing up for your own fucking kids.
Oh, here we go. I didn't think I was going to be able to find it.
Yeah, it should be from this page today.
Oh, Tim Tebow's page from today?
No, Don Lemon.
Oh, I'm looking up Tim Tebow.
No, Don Lemon.
All right, well, while I'm looking up Don Lemon here, watch this one.
Number 1. Offender type is biological fathers, but by far it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like, they're technical savvy. And I think that it is time that we call them out. Like, that we can't stand by and stand back. Like, we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, It's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing.
I mean, that's the clip. You find another one. That's fine. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. I mean, it cut and he had an emotional reaction, but that's it. We can talk about like, what the fuck are y'all talking about, man? Well, you know, they have kitty litter boxes outside of schools and the trans Tifa and the feminine. Bro, you're a fucking rapist, or you're a rapist apologist. They're equal to me. Equal to me.
I think it's important to pay attention to like the language these people are using, whether it's on Facebook or in person, or like, what about the Democrats? Look, if somebody says that to me, I'm like, what? I'm going to start looking at you a different way.
Absolutely.
Like, your loyalty is to
a person,
party
or a person,
a person or a party, you know.
Because they're trying to say who's so exceptional that you would fight for. I'm like, nobody.
So
my dad could be in there. Rom, you could be in there. I'm like, bro, I'm sorry, brother. I got to call the cops on you, brother. You got to go down. You got. You know what I mean? That's what they're trying to get to. They're trying to get to. Well, what if this? What if Obama? We are not in a cult. We don't give a fuck who is in there. That's what y'all are. It's not clicking. You're saying like, I will die for this motherfucker, which y'all have.
Yeah.
And we will not die for none of these motherfuckers.
Yeah, we gotta get a psychiatrist on here or something to kind of do cult.
Psychiatrist, if you're out there, let us know.
All right, so ICE is coming to Chicago. I mean, Charlotte. They're leaving Chicago, going to Charlotte. Bovinho is from Carolina. He's also threatening to go back to Chicago because the judge said that they might release 600 something people.
Because they ain't got no criminal record. They're like, why are we holding these people?
But he's coming to Charlotte. They're coming to Charlotte. They've started arriving. Apparently, he's in Charlotte. There are some resources available in terms of there's all kinds of resources people are organizing. I thought somebody Germana Chambers put out a post that I thought was very thoughtful in terms of the organizations that are directly affected or that protect the community, in this case, Latino, Hispanic community, who are going to be the most affected, and the onus that it puts on those type of organizations. So one of the things we've said, we always try to remind people is to, if you can't help support directly, to help support indirectly. So keep those people in mind, those organizations in mind. If you have the money, open up the pocketbooks, call out, reach out, email, see what they need help with. One of the big organizations here locally is the Carolina Migrant Network. And also I put together just kind of a community safety kit, if you will, on our website. That just kind of, this can be for anyone in the communities. This is based off what Chicago did in terms of how they warned and communicated the communities that when ICE and CBP was in the area, how they helped protect people going to school, going to work, leaving the house, helping them get groceries, help support the communities, the businesses that are going to be affected. As you know, it's not a good look when military tanks and 50 men with guns are rolling through your neighborhood of your business. No one's going to want to be there. So those businesses that are going to be affected, kind of all of those things, right? And so people have to start training their minds and realizing like all of the effects that these things are going to have. There's things that people do, in terms of getting their whistles, air horns, blow horns, whatever, make a lot of noise. But yeah, the Carolina Migrant Network is. Oops, I got that didn't page. I thought it clicked. I don't know why it's not showing on the screen, but let me pull that up real quick.
And as you're doing that, I also was like not on there, but and we're getting to that point is white people got to start putting their bars online. We've said this multiple times. I think I saw a video. It was a group of 19 or so moms, white moms, and I think it was either New York or Chicago, and they jumped this barricade and they just locked arms. And there's a reason why that matters, because in a white supremacist society, white bodies are deemed more precious and valuable. Doesn't mean you're absolved from any sort of violence or harm coming to you, but there's a lot less chance of harm coming to your way. And above that, and even more so in a patriarchal white supremacist society like the one we live in, white women are held more daintily. So there's a level like, I know that stuff sounds good, and a lot of people they're interested in like doing that, the kind of this that. But if you are there and you see that, get in the way. We don't know who these people are. There's been countless stories of these people cosplaying as the cosplayers who are not even ICE, kidnapping people, sexual assaulting women and children. Are we serious or are we not? Just to keep your house, just to keep your job? What the fuck is the point of working in a society? What are you doing paying taxes to an economy? They use those tax dollars to give a tank and a mask to someone to rape you or to harm you or to bust the windows out of your car for no fucking reason. Y'all ain't mad enough. Y'all are trying to, I'm talking to the white majority out there. The white majority out there. Y'all are still in the mode of like, we can just kumbaya this shit, hold it out. That is a privileged perspective, because you know they ain't looking for you. You know you're fine, so you just want to send a couple dollars. What the fuck does a couple dollars do when I got a billy club upside the fucking head? And that would not have happened to you. So I'm very happy this information is out there, but we have to get serious, folks. I'm a quasi historian. What do you think happened to the people in Nazi Germany? We always hear about the Nazis. The Nazis, what they did, but don't forget the Jewish people who were thrown in the camps and the survivors of the European Holocaust, because it was just a Holocaust, not the Holocaust. They said, yes, the Nazis, we knew the Nazis were crazy, the Nazis were terrible, the Nazis were racist, but the people who persecuted us the most were the German people, the regular everyday people who turned a blind eye, who let it happen, who, hey, I don't like that, and I just kind of went back to work. I got to get my degree. I got to get my paycheck. I got to go to the store. So people, we are at that time. White people, and I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, sure, call this number, call this lawyer. A lawyer ain't gonna be there fast enough. Use that privilege.
Yes, all that.
It's radical. It's the radical roots, baby.
Yeah, and there's roles. And there. With that said, there's if you're a lawyer or if you have legal capabilities, I agree with what you said. And again, but there's still a role for everyone. But everybody's
gonna take the document the roles the caboose.
I agree. There's
a role for me. I can bake the cookies. Trust me, as my party leader, the one thing everybody would show up to do, it wouldn't be canvassing, it wouldn't be phone banking, it wouldn't be door knocking, it wouldn't be lit dropping, it wouldn't be educational.
I agree. Now that you've said that,
everybody's there for postcards. Oh,
I hear what you're saying.
We all have a job. I'm old. What do you mean? I'm a woman. I'm white. Fuck that. And I used to tell them, no, y'all got to be out there. Y'all, your group is the only group of people that wanted this shit. So we can't fix the shit y'all want. And they'd rather do all this shit, the postcards, I read this, I'll post this on Facebook, all this instead of talking to their fucking uncle at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm glad you got that out there. And everyone's heard you. There's still roles. There's to document these things. There are a lot of lawsuits that are coming up in Chicago out of these things. So the recordings also help. Everyone has a role. People say, oh, why are you recording and not helping? Well, that's what they're comfortable doing. Again, I would urge people to take a look at what they can risk, take a look at what they can risk with the privilege that they have, whether it's their skin color, their money, so on and so forth, and do what's appropriate. But yeah, to your point, we don't need a bunch of people on Facebook saying, hey, there's something here, and baking cookies and things like that. Again, however, these people need to eat. There are roles for everyone. You got to feel what's comfortable with, but the people have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Let me ask you.
I don't know if Charlotte. I don't know Charlotte well enough to be like. I also don't know like the terrain well enough in the street, like to know if how people mobilize here and if they have that same mentality that Chicago does.
We've deemed the immigrant community, the Latino community, the Hispanic community, the Black community, as disposable as a country. Not me and you, as a country. But I'm going to ask you this, and we can head out in. If someone who you do not know, who has not identified themselves, who's pulled up in a minivan, and you're out with your two beautiful daughters, just you, and they're grabbing you, your daughters are screaming blood-curdling screams.
No comment.
And no, hear me out. Hear me out. It's very important because no, hold on. Let me finish. Let me set it up. I'm still setting it up, brother. There's only one more sentence left. And as your daughters are screaming, their faces are flushed, the tears are streaming, the veins are popping, your adrenaline is pulsating through your veins. You don't know what to do. These motherfuckers they're talking to you through the mask, and all you see is their those shiny ass glasses that he's fucking wearing. And then you see a bunch of white people pull their phones out. You don't have access to your situation, as I'm sure you were trying to say. I mean, you don't have access to that right now. It's in the car. You're out the car. They got you. There's 3 of them on you. Is that enough? Your kids may never see you again. Is that? I'm just saying, like we do this thing like we're it's never gonna happen to me. If that happened to me, I would want y'all to do that because I would do that for y'all. If it was in front of me, I would do that. Yeah. I would do that. I would say I would rip their fucking mask. Fuck them. I don't know you. Who the fuck are you? Who are you, sir? Proud Boy, Oath Keeper, 3%er, Klan member, militiaman, taking my brother who I do not know this man or this woman. Or this child. They rolled off with a toddler a couple of days ago. And you tell me the most I can do is get on this 5G network service and stream it? Or folks, we're at that point. I didn't make it there. I voted there another way.
I appreciate you framing it that way. Yeah.
You wouldn't want that. You'd be like, you would be fucking pissed.
Yeah,
you would do something.
There's a video.
Block their car. Slash the tires. I'm worked up. I'm worked up, bro. Because I'm sick of this.
I don't know if I'd say slash the tires, man. But I am. I'm surprised.
They are taking you from your children. I don't know about that. Fuck them. Deal with it.
You can. Hey,
fuck them, y'all. Look, if it was you, that's the question. And all my listeners out there, if it were you. What level of we must hold on? We have a lawless president who is not following the laws, and you are saying, not you, but y'all in your minds, I must follow the law. So there is no law. I'm not telling y'all to be violent, but what I'm saying is protect yourself.
I'm surprised that people are not. I'm surprised people are not slashing tires. I'm surprised that people aren't, throwing bricks. I'm surprised that people aren't doing more. Put it like that.
We need it,
but there was I'm not gonna find a video because I'm sure I won't be able to find it. But there was a woman. She sounded like she was Latina, and whatever happened with the car and ICE and this agent. Whatever he was, who even knows,
right?
Hopped out and they took her phone or they took her wallet and her keys to her car, and then they drove off.
Is that the one where they hit her car and they blamed her for hitting their car?
In Chicago, no, that's a different one.
That's a different one.
Chicago, they hit her car, blamed her for hitting her. They beat her. Basically, she ended up in the hospital. She was released, and yeah, so this is what's happening. But no, this was a different one where, whatever happened, he just hopped out the car. They took her keys. They took her wallet and drove off.
And then the other one, have you seen? And I was just telling Liz about it, my wife. This one sticks with me out of all of them. I'm not saying they're all horrible, right? We are traumatized. We have officially been traumatized. But it was a 16-year-old boy. Have you seen this one? And he's in the passenger seat of his car, of his mom's car, and he has the camera face out of the back window, and you can see the fucking Nazi talking to his mother. And she actually had papers. She was, documented, but issues can, again, she can't access the situation, right? She's out. They pull you out of that situation where you feel alone. And he can't really hear too much, but then these two big motherfuckers, they grab her and they throw her where her feet go up, and the boy is screaming, "Mom, Mom!" And you're telling me the most we can do is record that shit? Folks, what would you want if that's your mother? What would you want if that is you and your children are witnessing that? We're asking for too. This is the where we're at in this country because we're not demanding enough. I demand you get the fuck off me. We have a Second Amendment because if there's a tyrannical government, supposedly, then we should be able to defend ourselves. This isn't me just saying this. Countless people have said this. It's actually legal, but we're too afraid. We're too afraid in this moment to stand up for our own lives. While people who are empty, who have nothing, that's who signs up to become ICE agents or these CBP fucking Nazis to do this shit. If they would have become if they were good people, they would have went to college and become an electrical engineer, or I don't fucking know, a doctor, a lawyer. But they chose to do this because this is all they can do. They hate themselves and they need to express that some way. So what I'm saying is, if that was your situation, I guarantee every person fucking listening, posting on Facebook, doing all this shit would be like, that's not enough. I wish someone would have stepped in for me.
Yeah, the bar's in hell for who they're letting in to this. And
sorry for getting so hot, y'all. But anyway, keep your head on a swivel out there, folks. I'm serious. I keep your head on a swivel.
I get you. I hear you.
It's a lot, and that's what I want to make it real.
I have to laugh through it because
you got to. We got to make it real, though. That's why I did. That's why I said it that way. It's not just because we keep seeing Latino people as other, and those are our brothers and sisters, especially if you Black. I don't want to hear Latino. Fuck you, because the people that are getting pulled over and ripped out of this country, they didn't vote because they can't vote, and they don't deserve this. And you didn't vote for this. So, folks, please like, share, and subscribe. That's how we grow this show and this movement here is the Radical Roots. Times are crazy. Times are crazy. Again, we are the Radical Roots. We are progressive, aggressive. We don't give up. And of course, we always dig deep to reach high and progress through action. Please make sure you tell at least 10,000 people about our show, because we are giving to you real, raw, and unfiltered the way you deserve it, because you are smart, capable, and amazing people. I am your co-host, Peyron Baxter.
I'm your co-host, Ram Sandoval. Thank you for joining.
We'll see you next time. Peace out.